So, with branding is so important because it is very synonymous with your reputation. And your reputation is everything in this world, right? Your reputation is what people say about you, right? What do they say about you when you're not in the room? What do they say about you when someone asks you, "Oh, how is that person?" Right? How is that person? Are they right? Are they cool? Are they good to work with? Are they friendly? Are they courageous? Are they what are they? What is it that makes them uniquely them in the pursuit of whatever they are doing? Does this person fit within my world? Right? Is it in my best interest to associate with said person, right? It runs a lot deeper. And in this video, I wanted to talk about something that has been bugging me over the last sort of weeks, right? And, I think it's about time that we have this conversation, right? So let's just have this conversation. But before we have it, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, right? And before you even think, wait, who am I having a conversation with? My name is Tariq Peters. I'm a brand authority strategist, and I'm also an accredited PR practitioner. And I help B2B founders and advisors build a level of brand authority, right? Which is their personal brand multiplied by their business brand, multiplied by their campaign brand. When those three brands align, that gives you a level of brand authority that makes you more visible and credible to your desired target audience. And once that happens, you're able to drive more leads, which then leads into more clients and ultimately more revenue for your business. So if you are interested in all things PR, marketing, and branding, then make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. And also, if you are interested, I also have a Substack in the description box down below where I post weekly content, right? Looking at all the things that I've discussed, but also the behind the scenes journey of me building a seven-figure brand in 1,000 days, right? So make sure you check it out. So, it's a no-brainer. I love AI. I love AI. I can sit down and talk about how amazing AI is all day. But what I've noticed right now is that there's been a lot of sort of situations where a lot of people have misused the idea of AI and automation. And I will explain exactly what I mean. So I connected with someone recently. I was quite interested in the work that they do, and I just wanted to just have a conversation with them, just a general chit chat, right? Just to let them know and acknowledge that I think what they're doing is quite cool, just from seeing what they're doing. So this happened in real time, so I was quite shocked. Like you might even be able to see the shock in my face now. But as soon as they accepted my connection request, like I'm not joking, like literally 12 lines of a message was sent into my inbox on LinkedIn in real time. Like that, bam, it just popped up as a notification as soon as it said that the person accepted my request. And I was a bit taken back by that because don't get me wrong, there's a lot of ideas of how you're able to incorporate automation within your sort of lead generation efforts, for example, right? So that's fine. That's neither here nor there. But what surprised me the most was that it was just a very pathetic message. It was awful. It was awful. And with my channel, I don't do any expletives or anything. I keep this channel very much PG. But all the expletives that you could use or you're thinking to use, it was that. It was garbage. I was shocked. I couldn't believe what I read, what I saw. And ultimately, I was put off them completely. I thought that it was just a very lazy, shameful, all the words you can use to describe it. That's how I felt. And for me, although I didn't know them, right? I wanted to know them, but I didn't know them. But that first impression that they left on the basis of AI just made me disregard them completely. Like, in fact, following this video, I'm going to remove their connection because It just didn't make sense. It didn't make sense as to why you would go down to that level or scoop to that level, in fact, in order to mass outreach or do. Don't get me wrong, there's ways to do it, right? There's ways to do it. And if you are going to use AI within any part of your business model, whether it comes down to the lead generation, the lead magnet developments, or the email outreach, or any of those things, use it properly. Use it properly and use it where you are able to showcase your authentic self in the process. And you being authentic to yourself in the process is also being in a position where you research that person, you have an understanding of who they are through their content, through the work that they put out online, right? Everyone's profile, to some degree, it tells you a story, it tells you about their sort of pain points, their motivations, their highlights, their ambitions. You can get so much just by doing 10 minutes of research before you just reach out to someone just to say hello or just to let them know that you have something that they could be potentially interested in. And I feel that AI has been a root cause for a lot of sort of laziness and lackluster when it comes down to building genuine connections and having that level of authenticity in your approach. And, I suppose it can be a good thing because now authenticity is going to play a massive part in terms of how you are able to approach people and how you are able to strike conversations and how you are able to ultimately drive more leads into your business and get more clients as a result. And as I said, more revenue as a result of you being authentically you. And that's the reason why I do a lot of video content. Like I upload one video every single day. And I do this because I want everyone to know, firstly, that I'm not AI, right? That I'm not AI. I get things wrong sometimes when I speak, but I'm not AI. But then it's also the point that I'm very much authentic in my approach when I'm doing these videos. Like I'm not pretending to be someone I'm not. I'm just here sharing my experiences and my expertise and my know-how. And if it sort of connects with you, then we have a conversation. I see if I can help you, and then we can help each other. It's that mutual exchange and that mutual benefit that I speak about a lot. But you don't get that when you sort of shoot yourself in the foot and kind of put out messages like that without even having an understanding of who that person is. And, you know, before I used to feel that as far as AI is concerned, it was people who didn't necessarily like the idea of AI because it was a case of, the technology just being a bit too overwhelming or in some cases intimidating for them. But now I'm starting to kind of look at it that those people that don't like it sort of appreciate what it means to be authentic and what it means to just be human and just reach out to people and just be authentic in your approach. And now we are losing that at such a rapid rate because people would rather, you know, sort of skip the hard work when it comes down to outreach. And like I said in my previous video, I have no shame in terms of doing things that are able to make the process of things easier, right? But not at the sake of your reputation. Not at the sake of your reputation. You don't cut corners off the basis of your reputation being at stake because a reputation can take years, decades to build. And you can just tarnish your reputation, i.e., your brand, and unalive your brand in the process of you doing shortcuts. Doing shortcuts for what? What are you doing it for? Because it just disregards the idea of you building a business when ultimately the idea of building a business is working with people. And for you to work with people, you need to show that level of authenticity in your approach because no one is going to want to work with someone who isn't genuine or authentic. They want someone that they know has their best interest at heart and will do the most for you in terms of getting the job done, that they can help you hit those targets or hit the dream outcome, as I speak about often. So I find it quite crazy, honestly. I find it quite bizarre in that sense. And I did come across another post of someone actually who said that they coached someone and helped them in the approach of, building their brand, right? And that person in question just sent a sort of mass message on LinkedIn, and they just happened to be one of them. And then they just said, that's a bit weird considering that I was helping you, but then you decided to send me a message asking if I needed help with my brand when I helped you with your brand. So it's a bit weird in that sense, where a lot of people are understanding that the tools are readily available for them, but they are not being taught how to use it. Or if they are being taught, they are choosing to ignore the telltale signs on the basis that they want to rush the process. And you can't rush greatness in that sense. And when it comes down to nurturing and building and developing a rapport and all those things, you have to be really, really, really careful in this particular environment and this climate when it comes down to the rise of AI and what it really means to build your brand in this time. Because I talk about the personal branding deadline all the time, right? The 30th of November 2027. And I talk about how you being able to produce content, it will just be rapid. Everyone will be able to do it. But then what you need to consider and what you need to bear in mind is the fact that you need to be able to focus on your level of authenticity in the process. And like I said, I'm not telling you do not use AI, because me, I'm a big fan and supporter of AI. I use it every single day, and I'll use it wherever I get the opportunity to use it. But like I said, do not use it and put your reputation at risk, because all it takes is sort of one message, right? One automation, one sort of outreach template that you send out. And that person there who you send that out to, if they disagree with that and they disregard you and they put you in that box as someone who cuts corners and someone that is not genuine and not authentic, they will know people who will also be flagged to let them know that you are this person and you're that way inclined. And before you've even had the opportunity to spark that conversation and to showcase why you are the obvious choice and the key person of influence, and also why you can actively help them in the process, that is the thing that I feel is going to be missing in that side of things. And like I said, it can be deemed as a bad thing because a lot of people are using it, or it can be deemed as a good thing because ultimately the people that are using it incorrectly are sort of going to unalive themselves or unalive their brand in the process of doing that, whilst the people who decide to stay the path and do it in a way that is correct and authentic to them are the ones who will just continue to lead forward with what they are able to do based on that level of brand building and that level of connecting with their target audience in a way that makes it more genuine and authentic to them, right? So that's it for this video. That's it. Let me know in your comments what your thoughts are. Have you received any sort of AI comments or AI messages, in fact, that just felt so off that it kind of made you a bit sick? Let me know in the comments, as I'll be interested to hear it as well. And please, please do not, do not set yourself back by focusing on this AI automations and AI outreach, and focusing on all things AI rather than focusing on what makes you the best person that can align themselves with the target audience, right? Do not put your reputation at risk for shiny object syndrome. Do not put your reputation at risk for shiny object syndrome. That is my word of the day. But on that note, like I said, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like these videos, and make sure you let me know in the comments, and I will catch you tomorrow. Peace out. Look after yourself.